Let me begin with one of those gems in verse 2 and 3. He's speaking of the Lamanites. For behold, their wars are exceedingly fierce among themselves, and because of their hatred they put to death every Nephite that will not deny the Christ. And I, Moroni, will not deny the Christ. Wherefore I wander whithersoever I can for the safety of mine own life. This reminds me of the 7th verse of my all-time favorite hymn, How Firm a Foundation. That's the kind of person I want to be. Moroni's demonstrating this principle for us here. The soul that on Jesus hath leaned for repose, I will not, I cannot desert to his foes. That soul, though all hell should endeavor to shake, I'll never, no never, no never forsake. That's the kind of bedrock faith I want. Now, here's a guy who has every reason, like every reason on earth to be angry at God and to shake his fist at heaven and say, why are you doing this to me, and forsake him. But instead of having these trials and these setbacks and incredible loss in his life cause him to become bitter, it's causing him to become better. You'll notice the difference between those two words, better and bitter. If you choose the bitter route, the focus is on the I. It's on poor me versus letting God shape me through those struggles and trials. Now, this isn't a small issue here, because let me just orient us on the timing for a moment. You have 385 AD when we get the last battle. The next timestamp we get is 401 AD, and we know the plates, according to Moroni's timeline, are going to be buried finally and hidden up, sealed up in the Hill Cumorah in 421. So we know his dad gets wounded, Mormon, and he's going to die sometime after 385. Moroni tells us he's wandering all alone in 401, and we know that at least 21 years, or at least 20 years he's alone, but possibly up to 36 years alone. That's a long time. Even if his dad somehow lived this long before he died, we know he's alone here. That's a long time to feel forsaken, cut off, and not given the things that the world would say we deserve or we should have in order to be happy. Here's the point. You and I, when we experience trial, when we experience adversity, we don't like it. We want it to stop right now. We want quick resolution to our issues, but we don't always get quick solutions. Sometimes God has problems and loneliness and despair and trials stretch out for decades, because once again, the purpose of our Heavenly Father's plan is not to help us get somewhere alone. It's to help us to become something so that when we return to heaven, we will return there changed.